You're listening to Simple Health Radio, the podcast about recognizing medical emergencies and promoting wellness. Your host is Dr. Emron, an experienced ER physician who has treated thousands of people just like you. Information on the show is not a substitute for professional medical advice. Always talk to your doctor or go to the nearest emergency room with any questions you may have.
You're listening to Question of the Day on Simple Health Radio with Dr. Emron. Today's topic is a question that comes from a reader who found an article on livescience.com. He asks, what is fried rice syndrome? That's a great question. Fried rice syndrome is actually an illness, and it's caused by a very specific bacteria. The bacteria is called Bacillus cereus. This particular bacteria produces a toxin, and it causes a type of food poisoning which is extremely common. Last year, over 63,000 cases of food poisoning were estimated to occur in the U.S. alone. Most of them were caused by Bacillus cereus. Now, why is it called fried rice syndrome? It's interesting. The process for preparing fried rice involves two steps. So the rice is first cooked, and then it's left at room temperature for a couple of hours before it's fried with other ingredients. There's something that happens in that time frame. The Bacillus cereus creates the toxin, and it's in the rice at room temperature. Cooking it a second time doesn't deactivate that toxin. It doesn't destroy it. So that toxin is transmitted directly to the person eating it. Now, many people who get fried rice syndrome are going to have symptoms of nausea, vomiting, stomach upset, and diarrhea. A majority of them will have mild symptoms, and they should improve fairly quickly. However, it is possible that if people have other health issues, such as diabetes, or if they have a weakened immune system, they may get severely dehydrated. And those people will often come into the emergency department to see me or go to an urgent care or their family doctor, and they may need IV fluids or other treatments. Now, there's no specific antibiotic needed for Bacillus cereus because typically it is short-acting. So this is something that occurs, the body fights it, takes a couple of days, and then people are back to normal. But as I mentioned, because it's such a common illness and it can be prevented by monitoring what the foods are, it is something that people should be aware of. Now, we don't recommend that you give up eating fried rice. That would not be appropriate. But it is recommended that you are cautious. So if it's happened to you once with a particular restaurant or a particular recipe, avoid using that in the future because there's a high risk it's going to reoccur at that time. Now, if you do have illnesses that may be similar to this, but you continue to get worse, then it may not be fried rice syndrome. That could be some other type of an infection or an illness that needs more lab testing and diagnostic studies. So in those cases, I would highly recommend you go to the emergency room or talk to your doctor, get some additional testing to rule out the other causes. I'll have links on our website about fried rice syndrome and some information you can read about and share with your friends and family. If you have a question you'd like us to answer, please connect with us on social media. You can send it to us and also visit our website, simplehealthradio.com. Thank you so much for listening today, and I will have you back again on a future episode.
We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Visit simplehealthradio.com to read the blog, follow links mentioned on this episode, and easily share content with your family and friends. Subscribe to the show on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and the 3 and Out Radio Network. Be sure to connect with Dr. Emron on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Tumblr to send us your questions and ideas.